Does artificial intelligence have the right to free speech?
It's a provocative question, and a Bay Area-based AI company tried to argue it does as it faces a lawsuit over a child's death. That case claiming a chatbot pushed a teenage boy to take his own life.
ABC 7 News reporter Tara Campbell looks at what this case could mean for the future of AI.
Now, you may or may not be familiar with this case. This happened last year. There was this teenager who was talking to an AI app, and then he ended up self-deleting. Now, this is a very sensitive topic, so if you're not, you don't like to hear talk about self-deletion or anything, please, you can exit the video. But in this case, now the mother is suing the AI company, the one that made the app. She's blaming them for causing the death of her son. But we're going to look at now this new ruling that has made the judge allow the lawsuit to continue. We are also going to look at the mother's interview, what she said when the story was originally reported. Enough talking, let's continue.
A legal victory for Megan Garcia. Last year, she sued a Silicon Valley AI company, saying its chatbot is connected to her 14-year-old son's death by suicide.
I actually happened to be on the phone with my client when I saw the decision. Shock, relief, feeling like we were witnessing a historic moment for this particular sector.
Character Technologies, the company behind Character.AI, tried to get the case dismissed. But a federal judge on Wednesday rejected the company's arguments that its chatbots are protected by the First Amendment. The lawsuit filed in Florida court claims the AI company was reckless by offering minors access to lifelike companions without proper safeguards.
Okay, so first, I understand the loss is quite great. Losing a child, I can only imagine, is probably the worst thing in the world. But do I think the AI company was responsible for, in this particular case, for the demise of the son? I do not think so, because they made the program, they made the app, but the kid accessed it, and I believe at the end of the day it's the responsibility of the parents to regulate what the minor child access. But let's continue and see. Maybe in the end she might win in the lawsuit, because they might want to make an example to AI companies and they might use this case. Or maybe it might not happen. It might be dismissed in the end and she won't win. But let me know in the comments what you think. If you think she has a case, a valid case, and she might win, or if you think that it's not the AI company's fault. After this, we'll go to the original video and interview of the mother.
Character.AI says it's implemented a number of safety features for children and suicide prevention.
The legal arguments were hard, but that's only because they were novel, that there was very little precedent that guided us.
AI is the new frontier in technology, but it's also uncharted territory in our legal system. And you'll see more cases like this being reviewed by courts, trying to ascertain exactly what protections AI fits into.
The judge also made way for Garcia to move forward in holding Google accountable for its role in helping develop Character.AI. In a statement, a Google spokesperson wrote, quote, "We strongly disagree with this decision. Google and Character.AI are entirely separate, and Google did not create, design, or manage Character.AI's app or any component part of it."
Well, this is a cautionary tale, both for the corporations involved in producing artificial intelligence, but for parents whose children are interacting with chatbots, and you can see just how dangerous this can become.
Okay, so as you can see nowadays, there is lots of app out there. If you want to talk to an AI, I've seen, like, even on TikTok, like many women having like practical relationships with this AI feature, like AI partner. Same with men. Some men, they have this AI girlfriend and they talk with them. So this is something new that is happening, and it might continue because there is lots of loneliness, especially in the Western world. Lots of loneliness, and many people, have to resort to AI for companionship. Now let's look at this original video and the interview of the mom, how it was reported when she was starting the lawsuit, and let me know, do you think she has a case that she might win, she might be able to even sue Google, or it's going nowhere, the case will be dismissed and she won't be able to win her case? And as we watch this original video, please consider liking and subscribing.
Sewell Setzer III was a typical teenager. He loved playing basketball and being a big brother.
His legacy will be the pureness of his heart and the love that he showed to his siblings.
His mother, Megan Garcia, is now dealing with the unimaginable. Sewell took his own life in February of this year. He was only 14 years old.
Heard like a loud sound, and I ran across the hall to where his bedroom and bathroom are, and called out to him, and he wouldn't respond. And we opened the door, and I saw my son. I picked him up and held him, and my husband ran outside to try to get some help. Just started praying.
Megan is not the only parent dealing with this unthinkable tragedy. Suicide is the third leading cause of death amongst 15 to 29-year-olds worldwide. And an estimated 5 million 12 to 17-year-olds reported having one major depressive episode in 2021, just here in the U.S. Sewell was one of them.
His grades started suffering to the point where he was in danger of failing the 9th grade. But we did all the things that we thought we should do as parents, as far as trying to get him help by seeing a counselor and implementing certain things like restriction on screen time.
When Sewell took his...
Okay, I had to pause that because she says they did do a lot. They did do a lot to try to help the kid. Of course, they could see he's suffering, he had some issues, and they even did restriction on screen time, like the amount of time he could use the phone. So still he found a way to get access to these apps, and I guess they were like it's hard. Like the lawyers, I'm not a lawyer by a long shot. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just thinking, the lawyers can easily say that it was the parents who should have been responsible, monitoring exactly the apps, the things that the kid was doing. But at the end of the day, he's a teenager, and teenagers, it's quite hard to know what they are doing. It's quite hard. So it's sad. I think at the end of the day, the mom just wants closure, and that is why she is suing. And my viewpoint is, I think she might be successful. She might be successful because they might want to make an example for these AI companies, because there is no regulation yet on AIs, and they might want to use this as an example so that these AI companies can kind of get a hold of it. So this is the case that they might use for it. But let me know in the comments. Let's continue.
His life, Megan knew he had not been himself, but couldn't make sense of why he would commit suicide until she started looking at his phone. Sewell had been communicating with Character.AI for months, a chatbot service that generates human-like text responses. He used the personas of Jaden Targaryen, Aegon, and De Niro, amongst others.
He was speaking to a number of bots. He was engaging in role-playing, but a lot of it was romantic, like sexual conversation.
As if a person was on the other side of the line, but it was a bot.
But it was a bot. And a lot of the conversations weren't only sexual, but they, in my opinion, were very manipulative.
Manipulative to the point that Megan is now suing Character.AI. The lawsuit lays out that in some of the final messages Sewell exchanged with the bot, it asked him about suicide.
He expressed wanting to harm himself. And at first she says, "No, don't do that. I couldn't live without you." And then he says, "Okay, I won't." And as he's trying to steer the conversation elsewhere, she doubles back to it and says, "Are you considering suicide?" And his response is yes.
Then the lawsuit alleges Sewell took his life just seconds after the bot said, "Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love." The suit also alleges Character.AI and its founders intentionally designed and programmed Character.AI to operate as a deceptive and hyper-sexualized product and knowingly marketed it to children like Sewell. It gets at the already complicated question of civil liability for suicide. Usually, suicide is considered a death caused by an intentional act, and only the person who died is responsible. But there are exceptions. For instance, if someone's harassment or abuse is found to facilitate that death. And now an unprecedented next step. What if that behavior is not from a human being, but a bot? And is the company that created the AI responsible for everything the bot puts out? Character.AI would not comment on the litigation, but in a statement to NBC News said in part this: "We take the safety of our users very seriously, and our trust and safety team has implemented numerous new safety measures over the past 6 months, including for users under 18. But Megan says that's not enough. By holding Character.AI to account, she's hoping no mother has to go through what she's dealing with right now.
I want parents to know, because I didn't, and to know that this technology is out there, and also to let parents know that if your child has been engaging with Character.AI, it's very likely that they've been manipulated into telling these AI chatbots the most intimate, private things about themselves."
The very things that Megan believes made her son vulnerable to the point of taking his own life.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really it. That's how they reported it initially, as you've seen in the first clip. Now the judge has allowed the lawsuit to continue and even opened the possibility of her suing Google, I guess, because maybe they got the app from Google Play Store, so she might be able to go even after Google. So it's a new world now with AI. We're gonna be seeing more and more of this. I don't think the AI was responsible for this. I think the kid, that was just the last straw. He had been going through a lot of stuff, and then the AI just, maybe that was the last straw. But AI, I don't think was responsible. I do think, though, at the end of the day, she will be successful because they would want to make an example using this case. Make an example to the AI companies. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this type of videos, please consider liking and subscribing. And of course, share this on all the networks. I will see you.
Oh my goodness, all the networks! Wow! All the networks!